Hello and welcome everyone. Today, a day before we get Fontaine is released, I thought I'd do a nice little recap of the brand new characters that came out between, the version 3, like 3.0 to 3.8 that we ended off on. I thought it'd be nice, interesting to talk about the characters that we got and what and how they came out and what they were perceived to be and whatnot. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And starting off with Al-Haytham. Al-Haytham, in terms of like his role in the story, his playstyle, even down to his signature weapon, he's been a very nice addition to the game. I know it's funny to comment that he's like a Dendro Kaching, which he is, which is a little letdown. That he's so similar to like another character and like fits in like similar functions and playstyles. It's a little strange. However, he still keeps like his own sense of like uniqueness. So that's at least good enough. And he's a great, well designed character. And he had such an interesting impact on the story. His intelligence and everything, that he's like extremely intelligent, but he's like very lazy and like wants to live a very calm, quiet life. He's a very interesting character to look into. Next up, we have Baizu. Baizu's been around since the beginning of time, and we've only just recently gotten him as a playable character. And in terms of gameplay, he's not really that exciting. Like, I've been playing him, and you kind of just switch to him throughout his little snake thing, and you kind of just call it a day, and like you don't really stick on him too much, like healer, and then like, oh, you have his burst, now you have a shield. It's like whatever. Like, he's not that interesting to play as. He's nice to have around, healing alongside your Dendro and reactions, which are usually bloom and hyper bloom. So like he heals back some of the damage you take. His healing's pretty solid. But I'm gonna put him in B for Baizu. Not because he's a bad character. He's just not that interesting as to play as. But him as a character, he's a pretty interesting character. His backstory and everything, and like his chase for immortality and being like a healer alongside like the snake, and the snake's like all the intelligence and everything. Cheng Sheng is actually a very, very interesting addition to the party and to the team. It's very nice to like hear them like speak about stuff and like just hear like the little jokes and everything. Like Cheng Sheng is so interesting, as opposed to Baizu, who's just like the carrier of Cheng Sheng. If it was just Cheng Sheng without Baizu, it would be a lot better. But he's just like, and then that running sound where he's just coughing, it's just a little strange. He's okay. He's not too bad, but he's not too good either. Like, I'm not exactly thrilled to have him, but I'm not upset either. Candace, I think Candace is like an A tier character, even though they like absolutely obliterated her in gameplay and they made her pretty damn bad to play as. Like, you can still do cool stuff, don't get me wrong. And if you try hard enough, you can make any character viable to a degree. However, she just like the way they imply how like strong she is, and a descendant of King Deshret and whatnot. They just made her they just hyped her up so much, and they give her such a nice design and everything, and they just ruined her. But even so, she's such a great character in the story. And it's nice to see like how serious she is about Aru Village. And how everyone's kind of like, oh man, can't mess with Aru Village because Candace is around there. She's gonna fuck us up if we mess around too much over there. Like, she got in the middle of Al-Haytham and Sino fighting, and Al-Haytham's just some guy, but Sino's the General Mahamatra, and like even Dia, who's like one of the most like well-known mercenaries, is like, hey yo, we gotta chill, Candace is around. And then you have the juxtaposition of Candace and Dia being like good friends. They're like chilling in Dia's trailer, and then they were also like literally chilling, like going like clothes shopping and stuff like that during that one event with what was the name of the event? It was the one with like Kaveh and the crown and all that. And then like the fight scene with Sino and the Wanderer, hat guy. Like she's just like they made her this like this imposing character, and then they made her so like human, and like, you know, she's out here chilling and like clothes shopping and stuff, like with and then they like little girls hang out like after all that. There's like Dia, Candace, and Faruzan and Nilo. It's such an interesting position for a character to be in. I just don't like what they did with her kit, but she's still like I think she's still like better than Baizu. I think she's a great addition as opposed to him, because there's just so many Dendro characters, and he's like the second Dendro healer. It's just a little strange to see. And there's fun things you can do with her water infusion. Next up we have Kole. Kole was one of the first Dendro characters, like technically the first, because she came out like alongside her and Tainari were the first, but they came out like kind of together. I think actually, technically speaking, she was the first, because I think we got her for free, if I remember correctly. But like I like Kole as a character, but like the only reason to play Kole is because you don't have any other Dendro characters, or because you just really like the character. Like, she being like one of the first Dendro characters, she got outclassed very quickly, especially since like it was really on her burst for like the most like Dendro reactions. Her skill, like the boomerang's cool as hell, don't get me wrong. It just doesn't do much. Like it doesn't, it's not gonna like apply Dendro like consistently. It's just a cool little looking attack. But as a character, she's pretty fun to be around. She's pretty great. And, you know, watching her like go about everything and trying to get better, and like her sad little backstory and whatnot, and working to improve and better herself. It's a very uplifting story. That's just, you know, it just gets better and better the more we see her interact with more and more people, and we see her do more and more as, like, you know, the story and the game progresses. Sino is definitely S tier character. He has been a phenomenal addition. Like, if there's a character with the perfect contrast of serious and a goofball, it is Sino. And when he's clocked in for work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, he is as serious as can be. There's no jokes. He's kicking ass. He's one of the most powerful people, and he's just doing his thing. But that 5 to 9, he is king of games. He's dueling. He's cracking jokes non-stop. It's this character, like Sino just got better and better as we got more Genshin or Genius Invocation games or events, and he just kept popping up and just kept getting involved, and like kept cracking jokes in front of other people and watching their reactions, and his like it's just like constant like love for the game and everything. It just makes it. He was just so like fun, like to be around. Like whenever he was involved in something, even if he was like being serious, he was still fun to be around because he still looks cool as hell. And his playstyles, I really enjoy playing as him. He's I feel like a character is really well done when you can play them for hours and hours and hours, and their voice lines and everything, like they never get tiresome, because they just fit the character so well. It's just so like it's just so them. So when I hear like Sino's like voice lines, like, you know, judgment is upon you, your sins weigh upon your soul, that kind of stuff, it's so like over the top and dramatic, and it fits him so well. It's like, and the English voice actor, of course. I don't know about the other ones, I haven't like heard them. But his English voice actor does such a very good job portraying like Sino as Sino. He's just so like monotone and calm and cool and collected the whole time. He's a very well done character. They put a lot of heart and soul into him. Next up is Dia. When it comes to like character design, she is like up here. When it comes to kit, she's like not that good. But I don't see her as that bad. I'm gonna put her in A tier. Like people like clowning her kit for being horrendous. But like I've like actually like played her and played with her and as her and everything, and it's like it's really not that bad. She's a very fun addition to the team because she's just like immortal. She just doesn't die. Like, she just constantly heals herself. She has such a large pool of HP. Like, even without a healer, she's like completely chilling. Like, she can like take care of herself and everything. You just throw down her little fire thing, and like every now and then you switch to her and pop her burst. Like, she works pretty well. Like the numbers aren't there compared to like other characters, but like not every character is gonna be like a crazy like killer, like. But like having an immortal character that I can just switch to tank hits, like that will never not be fun. Like she'll just like come on out and just take a complete like boss's attack like head first and just live, and then start healing herself instantly. It's a very fun playstyle, and her design and her like role as a character, she did all right. like I don't really remember her doing much in the story. I just remember her kind of just being around and just out and about while we were like chilling in Aru Village. Past that, oh yeah, she convinced some mercs to join us and help us out. She was like ready to cut her arm off and like some other stuff. She was a cool character, and I think her design is one of the best in the game by far. Like she just looks really cool, and I love like the color scheme. Like, she still has like the mercenary color scheme, because all the mercenaries kind of like have like the red clothing, but she has like her own like unique design because she's a unique playable character, and like she's not like unfitting. Like, her and Candace both have like blue eyes, or at least one blue eye each, and it's just a really nice. It's just overall just a really nice like looking character. Next up, we have Dory. Dory is probably the worst character, probably the character with the worst kit in the game. And in terms of like story, she doesn't really do much. She pops up every now and then. She popped up like 3 times. I'm gonna put her in like C tier. Like, she's a very interesting character, and they definitely could do more with her. But I feel like they just didn't. They just refused to. Like, she popped up and she was like, "Hey, you want to buy some canned knowledge?" And it was like, "All right, cool." She's like a merchant or whatever, and she's like helping us out. It's like, all right, man. Like, seems all right. And then that was really it. And then in Sino's character quest, she came up again. She was like, "Hey, man, you want to buy this?" And then she was like, "I don't care about telling you a price. I'm gonna make the General Mahamatra pay anything." And then and then we don't tell him. And then she just gets thrown in jail. He's like, "Bro, I don't know who the hell you are. Like, get up, like, get out of here, like, scram." And then she popped up again in Kave's hangout, and then she just like rips him off right in front of us. And it's like a little funny because he walks into it very abruptly, but like that's it. Like, we've only ever seen her like do like transactions. We've never seen her like outside of that. We've never seen like an interesting part about her. I think if she had like a hangout of some kind or something that just showed her off more. She's just an underdeveloped character. She's a terrible kid, but she at least has personality and like a really, really cool design. The glasses are fucking dope, dude. But she just hasn't done enough. We haven't seen her outside of being a merchant, so it's hard to really call her anything. Next up, we have Faruzan. Oh man, if there's a character that has been very, very exposed in completely different like ways, it is Faruzan. Faruzan's had a hangout. She's been part of events. She's just a very interesting character all around. She started like even from just like her backstory, she's been like lost in some place where space and time just didn't like flow for 100 years. She was just there, stuck until she solved the puzzle, and she comes back to civilization 100 years later, unchanged in age, technically. Like her body did not feel any effects of it. She was unchanged, but her mind was like crazy, being locked away for 100 years. It's like, it's kind of wild too, like I've been through it too. Like she couldn't speak or anything. She was just like suffering. and then they had to like rehabilitate her to like human life and stuff, and then everything she knew about was just gone. She is it's like 100, like it's like if we just threw you 100 years from now, and then like all like the music and books and everything that you liked was just gone, never heard from again. It's a very depressing state to be in. And her hangout like tackled so many different, in the different endings and routes you can go, it tackled so many different like paths she could take, or things that have happened. You know, there was a robot that her family and friends had like as a pet, and it was just wandering around looking for her with all these like notes and papers and letters from family and friends. And that's like, that was a very like sad time. And then you had the choice of like helping her start over and making new friends, or keeping it to herself, and then like upon other things like becoming a teacher and a better teacher, and exploring all these medias that she liked that was lost, and all these trending things that are nowhere near popular anymore. It's they took a very interesting, instead of like they took a very interesting route of a character who's 100 years in the future, instead of being like all-knowing and like wise and everything, to being just another like regular person, just in a completely different environment. Like, such a great character. And she has a wonderful personality. I love the sassy grandma kind of thing when she looks like a little kid. Like, it's just like hilarious, because she's not wrong. Like, she is like 100 and something years old. So, you know, you kind of can command that kind of respect. Phenomenal character, by far. Next up, we have Kaveh. Kave's like another S tier character. I think probably better than like, I think he's probably the best character we've had in the version 3 release. He is. I was wondering what order this is in. This is an ABC order. But what's it called? But Kaveh is like one of the best characters. He is one of the most relatable characters we've ever had in Genshin. Unless you were like a bar owner or something like that, or a bard, or just like the Queen of China or something. Like, he is the most relatable character. He is full of talent and potential, but he is just a little aloof, and like he just can't, like he's just unable to get out there. But he has this like indomitable spirit, bro. He just keeps going and going, and he keeps trying, and then things just like aren't working out, but he just keeps going for it. And on top of that, he has this like he just has this like will, like he has to do good in the world. Like, he's such a relatable character. It's uplifting to see someone like that, like constantly going, because, you know, it drives that like human spirit in you to keep on going as well. And you can see it, like, he's not that young, but he's also not that old. He's not old enough to where it's too late to make a difference, but he's not young enough to where he's too like inexperienced to like do anything. He's like mid to late 20s, which, you know, I'm almost mid to late 20s. I'm getting out there, you know, my gray hair is coming in and everything. But it's still like you don't have to have everything set up right away. Like, Alhaitham is like younger than him, and Alhaitham has everything set. Alhaitham's chilling right now. Like, Alhaitham's basically like set for the rest of his life, maybe even and then some. While Kaveh is still like going through things, and, you know, like, I hate like cliched phrases like, you know, everyone grows at their own rate, because I think that's a little dumb. But Kaveh is like a very good example of how that is a good way of looking at things sometimes, because he's going at his own rate, and it's like he's almost there. He just has to, you know, he just has to keep going. He has to keep doing good and doing better. But on top of that, he's kind of an idiot too, which is like great. That makes him the most relatable. Just being like foolish sometimes, because in our own ways we're all a little foolish, right? But I can go on about Kaveh forever, and just how like great and relatable his character is, especially to the viewers, because from what I've seen from the YouTube analytics, you guys are around late teenage years to like mid to late 20s, like around there mostly. So you guys know what's up. I'm sure you do. Next up, we have Kirara, and it's really tough to say because I think her kit's actually like pretty like doo doo, but like the shield is like okay, but like the ability to like run up walls is like really cool. But why would you ever like need to switch to her when you have like characters like Wanderer, Kaching, I'll hate them, and you know like different kind of like useful abilities like that. Like climbing isn't always that like useful. Like running around, like someone like Sayu, like Sayu has a very useful ability because you're always gonna be running. You're not always gonna be climbing. Sometimes you're like gliding and stuff like that. So it's like it's not like as like it's not as like so handy. It's like oh man, like I would have to force myself to use it to like get like the the mileage out of getting her. And it's still like man, I probably could have climbed this a little bit faster by just spamming the jump button, while climbing. But even though her kit's bad and she is like her niche isn't really that useful, I think even then we haven't really like fully explored her personality. Her personality is just kind of be adorable, and she does pretty well at that. I put her in high B tier because it is fun to have her like in the party and hear like the little like cat noises and see like the design of the cat box, because that's probably the best part of it, like the cat box and the delivery and all that stuff. Like they just made her an adorable character, and that was kind of it. But they did really well in that, and they haven't really done anything else with her. Like I don't remember her being in like the event and like doing that much, so we'll give her a pass for that. Next up, we have Layla, and oh god, dude, oh man, do I despise Layla. Layla is an extremely boring, like cop-out kind of character. Like there's some like personality types that I think characters in media get, and it's just like oh man, isn't this relatable, guys? Aren't we all? They was always like the jokes about college students being like broke and tired all the time, and they just took that like overused like joke meme sample, and then they were just like, let's make a character exactly like that, and it is so disappointing. And they made her like, they gave her like a cryo shield, and she like lays down in her shield, and it's like, bro, like get this out of here. But oh no, like man, like when she goes to sleep, she has this other personality that's smart and capable. Like why couldn't you just be smart and capable and tired? Like why does it have to be a separate personality? It makes it uninteresting. It's just like why couldn't she just do it? Like why couldn't she just be like that? Like making it a whole separate person, it's so disingenuous, it's so uninteresting, it's such like a it's just so whack, for lack of a better term. But I have a lot of contempt for Layla as a character. And man, her hangout, usually I play hangout now and I have like a newfound love for the character, but her hangout did not help. It just made it worse. So I'm gonna leave her in F tier. At least with Dory, there's like potential there. Like we just haven't it's just untapped. Like Layla, like it's pretty fleshed out, and it's like nothing in there. Next up, we have Mika. Mika's kit's really only useful for like, I don't even think he's useful for, I don't remember if he's useful for crowd support. I think he's mainly just like physical support, but he can do a couple of interesting things. He has like the healing capabilities, and he also has the crossbow that can aim. That is a really cool niche. They just like, I don't know why they put like such a long cooldown on it, but it's a really damn cool niche. And his normal attack with the bang bang, while he's like swinging his spear, like when he's like starts shooting the crossbow, that's fucking dope, dude. But he's like he's in a weird spot. Like you're only ever gonna really use him if you have like Eula. Like I can't even see him with like any other character, even like other physical. I can't even see him with Razor, because like he just doesn't have the cryo application to be able to help out Razor. So you'd have to have like another cryo character, and it's like now you have like so much going on, and he's not really that interesting either. Like not much has happened with him to where we've like delved in. We like met him once, and he like read out some like note, and then that was really it. I'll put him in C, because I feel like there's just not enough to judge him on. Like I'm not even that interested in him enough to like read like his character story and all that. hopefully we see more of him to really find out. But like in terms of like, the only really weird way I can judge him is his like impact on like gameplay, and he really only helps if you have Eula. And I know not many of you have Eula because she doesn't sell that much and she's not around that much, so he's not that useful overall. Next up, we have Nahida. Nahida's up there. Nahida's definitely an S tier character. She's a phenomenal Archon. Like, I love the way in Archon in their nation all have different roles. Like in Mondstadt, he's just like behind the scenes helping out. In Leeway, he helps out in terms of like he like left them to like be on their own, but he still helps out in terms of like little things here and there and getting knowledge right, getting knowledge on the history correct. And Inazuma, she was like the huge problem, causing all the issues for the people. And Sumeru, Nahida is the one suffering from the problems of her people, and she holds no contempt. Like there is no like anger towards the people. She still loves and supports them and helps them out at all times. She's just around like at all times. She's chilling, walking around, and it's so cool to see that. Like there's zero hard feelings between the people and her. And it just works out really well. She's just such a fine character. Not fine as in she looks good. She's a kid. I mean, maybe the adult version looks good, but like we've seen it like 0.5 times, so I can't really judge it that well because they draw her in like a very like nice art style, but it's like I don't know what her character model would look like. I feel like it might be a little weird, but no, she's just like she's a great character in terms of like the story. It's fun to see her interact with people, and she just has this like childhood innocence at all times with all characters, which makes her very like genuine as a character. You know, it's not like the other like characters where they're gods and they're like oh man, like I gotta keep it a secret, or in Inazuma it's like you know I'm God, but like I'm not gonna like kill you guys again, you know. But like there was always that like idea like this chick was out here like murdering 24/7 like 2 years ago. So, but she just says it's very like genuine, like yeah, bro, like we're all gonna learn and grow together and be free and like be about that. And then her gameplay is phenomenal. Like she's just such a fun character to play with. Like she made Dendro like insane. She's by far the best Dendro character in terms of gameplay. She's like the strongest and like supporting and whatnot. But in all other aspects, she's been pretty great. I wish we got like an alternate like skin where she was like, where we get to see like what the previous version or whatever, Rukadavada or whatever, looked like during like the Archon War and stuff like that. That would be a very interesting thing to see. My Uber Eats is 1 minute away, and we have 5 characters. I might have to be right back. But next up, we have Nilo. Nilo, I'm gonna place an A tier because everything, her personality as a character is one thing, and that is dancing. There's nothing else. Like her character story and everything, and her role in the Archon quest was to just dance. And every time we see her, she's just dancing. But she's a very pretty character. Oh, she was actually like commentating at one time, which is pretty funny. But she's a very pretty character, and it works out because she just like looks nice, and she has all these elegant moves and whatnot, and she incorporates dancing into like her play style, which is very cool to see when you're playing as her. And she's doing all these special moves, all the water effects and particles everywhere. It's very nice to see, and very nice to play as. But like, it kind of just caps out right there. She's a pretty face that dances, but she does it really well. So I can't knock any of that. It's because I like it, but it's just a matter of like, are we ever gonna be able to see more, or like do more with her? I don't really know. Sorry about that. I had to pick up my food from downstairs, but we are all good now. So next up, we have Tainari. And Tainari was was the first 5-star Dendro character, and what a role he has been on in the entirety of version 3. We have had 2 characters be introduced and included into the. God damn, I'm still out of breath. We have had 2 characters be introduced and included into the standard banner. The first one being Tainari after his banner 3.0, and the second one being Dia and her banner after her banner in 3. Tainari's been a very interesting character. He had an extremely fitting voice actor that portrayed the exact personality of Tainari perfectly. It's not very like. It's very weird when there's like a perfect voice for a character. You know, it's like you feel nothing but happy, like Zhongli and Keith Silverstein and Faruzan and her voice actor. Like their voice actors. There's just so like when you have such a perfect fit, it's like yeah, that's some pretty cool stuff right there. But when there's like an issue going on, and then they have to get rid of them, and then they have to replace them with someone who is not on par as him, but doesn't have allegations and issues going on. It's a very weird situation because you're happy for the new guy, but it's like, damn, that old guy, like he was really out there, man. It was such a perfect voice, and playing him now, it's like hearing a weaker voice that doesn't fit him as much. And it sucks, because like if we just started with the second guy from the beginning, none of this would have happened and it would have been completely fine. But now we have this like basis to like judge him on, and like it's a little rough, and it makes the character not as fun to play. Like ever since that happened, like I played him like a couple of times, Tainari being the person in question, and it just hasn't been it. It just hasn't been the same interest. That is to say, like his playstyle to begin with wasn't really that interesting either. It was like the Dendro version of Ganyu, but weaker, if that makes any sense. Like his whole thing was around like charge attacks, and then he wasn't exactly like Ganyu, but like it's hard to like compare a charge attack, a bow user, and like it's hard to have one and not compare them to Ganyu. Because she's just like the queen of bows. But I have to put like Tainari like somewhere in the middle of B, because he's just got like a really strange position to be in. He's just like it's almost like everything is like being compared to something else, and he's just like he's not that bad in like many like forms, but he's just like overshadowed. Like they're better Dendro units, they're better bow users, they're better. I don't want to say better voice actors, but there are voices that certainly fit better. There are better reactions to his jokes. Like even though like you know he gets very tiresome, you know, it's like seeing like Cole, like even though she's like socially anxious, like just be like, man, what the hell did Sino just say? Seeing like Albedo like enjoy them, or seeing like even the Traveler and Paimon, because Paimon's great when it comes to complaining. Like they're just all like better than his just like face palms and like more of this, and like he's just not as interesting anymore, if that makes sense. Like there's just like always just like a better. There's always someone that fits better in his spot, no matter what spot he's in. But enough of that. Moving on. I wasn't sure whether to like include the Dendro Traveler or not, but I thought, well, in terms of gameplay, it's a new character. But like, you know, this isn't like judging the Traveler or anything, but I'm gonna put the Traveler in the bottom of A tier, because it is a completely free Dendro character that you can like, you know, get all the constellations for and get them pretty easily, like, you know, on par with your other characters. But she, or he, depending on, But the Traveler, like the Dendro version of the Traveler, is actually pretty solid. It's actually like really really like usable. Like I mean the Electro one's kind of usable too, but the Dendro one's actually like pretty damn good. And like it's solid as like a Dendro unit, especially if you're free to play, man. Like Dendro Traveler is like really gonna be in there for you, carrying like your Dendro needs away, your reactions away. She definitely fits. So for that, we'll put her at the bottom of A tier. But the only like new version of the Traveler we've gotten was just the Dendro. So I won't like comment on any like story and whatever, like whether you like the Traveler or not, whatever the case may be. But Dendro Traveler definitely made it worth it to level up the Traveler. That as much is at least true. Next up we have the Wanderer, also known as Scaramouche, also known as Hat Guy. And man, what a downfall of a character. I remember playing the Meteor event and seeing Wanderer, and he was just so cool and like mysterious, and he came up, he dropped all this knowledge, and it was like, bro, who the hell is this guy? Like Gamona was like fearful of him, and like he just dropped all this, he just dropped so much, man. And then we were like, oh man, he's from Inazuma, and oh man, we're going to Inazuma, we're gonna see him, and oh my god, he's a doll that was created by the Archon, and we met the Archon, and he pulled up and he started causing all these issues, and he got the Electro, like he was just such a cool character. He just talked shit 24/7 to anybody, and he was just about that action, man. He was ready to fight, he was ready to do shit, bro. He was so about it, man. He was such a cool guy. And then he pulls up in Sumeru with Dottore, and they start making all these like contraptions, like the giant like Magu Kenki, no, not the Magu Kenki, the giant thing that he was like inhabiting to like become like a god per se, with like the Gnosis, the Electro Gnosis, and that in and of itself was just really cool. It was intense. It was like fighting another Archon. We've only fought one Archon like twice, but like it's kind of weird that we fought her twice, but like, so well. Oh well. But we haven't fought another Archon since. So him and like, you know, all of the Archons are like always so friendly. So it's like, you know, like I don't see us ever fighting like Venti or Zhongli or Nahida. So they actually fight like another godlike being, which is really cool. But once he was defeated, he just became such a weaker character. Like now he's devolved and like been watered down to like snappy lines and like being like angsty and angry. And if he was just like that from the beginning, it would have been like, all right, whatever, you know, he's just another Zhao. But like he started off on this like giant grand scale and has just been watered down to like just quips and just being angry. It's such a letdown. And then his kit was like, oh man, it looks so cool. But when you fly up in the air and you just spam charge attacks and you just hear constant grunting, it gets very boring very fast. Though it is extremely useful for getting around, you know, whether you're going like horizontally or vertically. Like he's the king of traversing all those planes, not at an angle, but like either one at once. So like at least for exploration, he's really cool. And like even though he's strong, like he just has a very boring playstyle that gets old very fast. And like I just can't get down with it. Like it's unfortunate to do so after like the history and everything, but I think he's a C tier character. Like he's just such a letdown. And like, bro, I've been waiting years for this guy to come out. Like I remember when they were like, yeah, he's coming out next year, and they said that like the first month of Genshin, dude. Like I've been hearing that for so long, and to see him actually come out and like this was the end result, I would have rather kept waiting, honestly. It's very unfortunate. But last and maybe least is Yao Yao. Yao Yao, I have so little enjoyment for. What I don't like in Genshin that they do a lot is they kind of like reuse like ideas and designs. They reuse a lot of things in general, and I think Yao was just like a reuse of the Klee concept. You know, like you have Klee and Dodoko, and like, you know, she's adorable and full of energy, and everyone loves her. And they did the exact same thing with Yao, and that's just really boring. Like, yeah, she plays completely differently, but character-wise, like personality and everything, it's just, she's just not there. I think she's top of F tier to equal out everything a little bit. But not only that, like I legitimately think she's a very boring character. She doesn't add that much. She doesn't do much of anything. Her personality is just like, yeah, I'm adorable, and like, and look at me, and I'm cool with like these like godlike beings. And it's like, bro, like I don't care. Like, you're just kind of around. Like, I don't think Leeway needed another character like this. But Dendro needed a polearm user, so this is what we got. But that's going to be it for my opinions of the characters as they came out, and the characters that came out in version 3 of Genshin Impact. Fontaine's coming out tomorrow at the time of recording this video, and the time of uploading, I hope. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like, what do you think of the list? What do you think of characters that we got? Who are you excited for in Fontaine? So on and so forth. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that neat stuff. You know, don't be a Yao Yao or Layla. You know, be a Kave. And check out the next video as it pops up on the screen. And take care. Thank you for watching.